Hey, I'm John Greaves III. I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life, and you know that we love doing home gym tours on this channel. And typically, the person does the video and then sends it in to me, but I am so honored to have my man, Jack Cambra Jr., who is founder, CEO, owner, operator of 50 Barbell, also known as CrossFit 50, over there in Hawaii. And this trainer of champions has honored me with a guided tour of his outdoor home gym. I'm telling you, there is a lot of strength in this place. So I'm gonna be asking Jack some questions as we go along. And Jack, my man, thank you for spending some time with me, man. I know you're busy.
No problem, brother. You're welcome. Not a problem at all.
All right, so take me around your spot and show me what you got, man.
All right, here we go. All right, so coming in, we got our nice and rusty leg press. First of all,
nice.
We come to the gym.
Now, this is where you guys do a lot of running, right? I see you guys like doing sled drags and everything on this path that you're on right now.
Start right where that patio line is, right there at the end of the house is our start line. We got a little tape line down, and then we run out that way through the gate, and then we have everything measured from 100 meter, 200 meter, 300, 400 exact, and then around the whole block is actually 450 meter or 550 depending where the start line is. And yes, we do some specific sprints and drills in here, short ones, but my fast kids, my college kids, they can't stop in time before the gate, so
nice. All right, so
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, so how far is that distance?
Which one? We have a bunch.
So like the way where you guys normally drag the sled?
Oh, the sled is 64 yards.
Okay,
so
I got you.
This little imaginary line right there that used to be a tape line. And then if you drag your sled all the way to the front where the wall is and back down and then touch down there where that pink bench is, that's 64 yards total trip.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Body tempering rollers, super important, huge part of our program. Shout out to Donnie Thompson right there. We got a 177 pounder and a 123 pounder. We use those every single day.
Okay, Mr. 3000 himself, yeah.
Tricep dip machine, and then this is where the gym opens up. Our bench kind of moves around, rotates.
That's one of the advantages that you guys have of such a big space in this outdoors. You basically just put the bench wherever it makes the most sense, right?
Yep, exactly. Wherever it makes the most sense that day, the most room, if we need spotters and whatnot.
Because you guys train athletes, power lifters, football players, people. I think you got a baseball player or two, I think.
Yeah.
People do only lifting. Of course, there's CrossFit. And so how many athletes do you have training in this space at one time, would you say is your max?
The most we have going at one time would be 23 athletes. Wow. Going all, but throughout the course of a day, pre-COVID, we'd have 40, 42 athletes in our gym throughout the day. Not remotely, just in our actual gym.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. I want people to understand that this is a different sort of facility. Nobody does what Jack does. So go ahead and show me what else you got, my man.
Okay, you got it. So right here is used to be our patio, and we got our bumper plates here, 45s, 25s, 15s. We got more bumper plates back here, more 45s, change plates, 2.5s, small change plates, 1 1/4s.
Spy at Elite FTS SS yoke bar.
Yep, yes, sir.
That's the same one I got. What's that? I love that SS yoke bar, man. It feels like when you put it on, man, it feels like it's just like, oh wow, this was always supposed to be here. It's so comfortable.
It's one of my favorites. I got a West Side safety squat bar, and that bar, just same kind of bar as other safety squat bars. That one's just brutal. The Elite FTS bars, super comfortable.
Yes.
But that's bad though. The bad bar is good too, though.
Yeah, because does it like pitch you? Is it harder to like stabilize with the West Side bar? To just digging into
the camber is different. The camber is different on that bar. The camber is stronger and a little more prominent forward. So yeah, once the whole It sucks getting out of the rack. It sucks all the way around. It's just not fun, but helpful.
Yeah. Tailor made for good mornings, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what else you got, my man?
Our bars, got our women's bars, 17 pounds for a super light bar. We got the 35-pound bars, football bar, axle bar, shorty axle bar, another axle bar there, cambered, EVTS, the West Side Devil safety squat bar. The rest of our bars here, we have the
now. Do you have because you guys have like Oli lifters and power lifters as well as like football players and whatnot. Do you guys use a mix of stiff bars and also bars with a little bit more whip?
We conjugate everything. We change everything up. Everything's a rotation for us, including straight weight, flat shoes, heeled shoes, and every bar that we have, So you don't always wake up on the day that with the bar you want to use, but we get a rotation in there. Our dynamic day for our lower body, we use a straight bar always. And our max efforts, we always mix up. The bars are, if we run into a situation where we've gone through the bars kind of quick, then we conjugate the accommodating resistance with chains, bands and chains, heavy bands, heavy chains, light bands, light chains, or whatever variation there might be.
That right there was gold. All right. If you're watching this, that Jack just dropped some gold. You guys are like looking at all these different ways you can change up your training. And Jack just told you all you gotta do is change what kind of bar you're using. Even if it's two straight bars, but a different whip, you just right there. That's a variation that could keep you trained and injury free and progressing.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't look at, they worry about having a bunch of different equipment. Our advantage is I didn't have a bunch of different equipment here because shipping's so bad at first. So I have to learn how to conjugate everything. So, I mean, even, the sets, you can do the same exercise, but if you constantly rotate the sets and reps, I found that to work really good for not hitting any accommodation and to keep maintaining forward progress.
Okay, now how tall? Let's check out the rigs that you got behind you. How tall are they?
So my rig goes, she's 9 feet here and 12 foot to the back up there. Try not to get the sun, brother. And then the rig is 24 feet, I think we got.
Okay.
Bunch of pull-up bars, got a muscle-up rings on there, muscle-up bar, Stacia's favorite, monkey bars.
Yeah. I see you guys doing like the pull-ups and all the other stuff, and even the levers, man. I see you guys doing levers on those, and those are crazy hard.
Yeah.
One thing that people always ask when it's an outdoor gym, and you guys are in Hawaii, so this is a big deal too because of the salt and everything else. Everybody always says, well, number one, what if it rains? Number two, how do you protect your equipment? I can answer the what if it rains? Well, then you won't dehydrate, because there's water everywhere. But let you go ahead and address those things. How do you protect your equipment?
Honestly, I don't do much, and it's not because I'm lazy, not trying to protect my equipment or whatnot. It's just that I don't believe everything has to be perfect for somebody's training. If somebody's training on a bar that's a little rusty and doesn't want to spin, well, when they get on a really good bar, they're just going to be better. So,
Nice.
We oil our bars once in a while, get it going. You want to make sure you use a 3-in-1 oil or something that's a non-solvent. You don't want to use WD-40 or JV-80 because those are solvent cleaners. Those work. I would say the biggest thing is our Monolith is powder coated. And the second thing is if you have a rig, you want to do relief holes in the bottom of the rig.
Oh,
because because mine doesn't come with that, and I have to pretty much replace all my uprights because they're not having a relief hole because they will fill with water. So if somebody's got an outdoor rig, the biggest thing I can say is put plugs in as many of the holes that you're not using or cover it with Gorilla Tape. Put your drain holes in the bottom, put caps on the top, and make sure to always spray your bases with a 3-in-1 oil or some kind of lubricant, because if you put lubricant on top of the metal, that'll repel water, and water is what creates rust. So if you repel the water, you kind of keep control of the rust. But other than that, not much. There's a real common factor in my gym, and that's rust.
Okay.
We're like maybe we're less than half a mile from the ocean, so there's salt air everywhere. I mean, you get anything that comes in here that's a steel bolt, not galvanized, not aluminum, it'll just, in days, it'll start rusting already.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Rust-Oleum double coat paint, man. That's obviously my number one weapon. We paint the plates in here and whatever equipment we can in the Rust-Oleum double coat. It coats twice as much as a regular can. It coats easily and it keeps things pretty rust free and lasts a while.
We gotta get you a Rust-Oleum sponsor. Rust-Oleum ought to sponsor you, man. I mean, does that not make sense? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going after all the fitness sponsors, but man,
that would be
you
a
need Rust-Oleum.
Great sponsor. That would be great.
Yeah, like look, because Stacia is a 12-time world champion. Like, hey, 12-time world champion trains on equipment protected by Rust-Oleum. We can work on that.
Sounds great. Let's sign me up, man.
All right, man. Show me what else you got.
All right, my man. Nothing too exciting. We got our boxes in there, squat boxes. Yes, no machine, abductor, adductor. Our benches, which is our loose benches that we also use on bench day. Those benches right there are actually made by my father's friend, and they're older than me, and I'm 45. That's crazy. Wow. So those are our ab mats and our dumbbell racks. We got our dumbbells here and our kettlebells.
Okay. Circuit. Do you have a preference for like brand of kettlebell? I know that there's always this because when I first started getting kettlebells, I always had problems with them chipping, with the handles chipping. And then I had to switch to a couple of different brands. But they're not paying me, so I'm not saying their names right now. I'm just saying, but I switched to a couple of different brands. But do you have a preference as far as kettlebells?
Yeah. Thompson Fat Bells, baby.
There you go.
That's my preference. That's my number one preference, honestly.
Donnie Thompson again.
When it comes to regular kettlebells, a lot of people get picky and they like to use that competition style bell, like these over here and that one in the back. But I just regular bells. Honestly, if the handle or the shape or whatever affects you that much, then maybe you shouldn't be lifting weights. You know what I mean? You can't. I mean, things can't be perfect in the gym. I mean, we live in this perfect world, and then we go into the gym, and everybody wants to work out with straight bars. We're not meant to lift those things, so we have to be real smart and don't get too picky. Don't get too picky on the equipment. Main thing for me is the equipment lasts. It's strong. It's well made. If I got a kettlebell that's well made, but it's cast, but it lasts me forever, I got no issues. And these cast bells, which I don't even know the brand what they are, they've been in my gym for 11 years that we've been open, and I got 90 pounders and 70 something pounders, and I got football players. They are not easy on equipment. I never had stacks of broken weights until I started training football players.
Yeah,
but it's all good
because they take it as a point of pride. Like basketball players like to break the rim when they dunk. Football players like to break equipment. They're like, "Yeah, I broke that." I'm like, "Thanks, buddy." Man,
break chairs. One kid blew the side of a barbell completely off, sheared the barbell, the metal, and sheared the whole end off. I don't know how he did it, but hey, more props to him.
He's a legend. He's a legend. Like, son, here's the door. I don't even.
That's my 400-pound kid that can do the split. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Never mind, son. You can stay. Never mind, son. You can stay.
Within 4 weeks of him training, that kid snatched 225. Crazy.
Sick. This is a good time to point out that you have a 100% graduation rate of your kids. So kids graduate from high school when they train with you.
Yeah, 1,000%. We got 100% graduation rate, and then for a while there, did we have it broken yet? We've had 100% college rate too in our gym. There was a point where we had 100%
college graduation rate or college acceptance.
Yeah. College acceptance rate, and then actually, we are not going to be able to get the college graduation record because one of our kids went to the NFL early, so he didn't get his degree.
What an underachiever!
Okay. He's a millionaire now, so. Yeah, he's a millionaire now. That's
Hey,
good.
he's got time. He can always go
He's
back
got
and get it
he's got
later on.
time. He's got
You need
time
to
and
get
money
on
now.
him like, hey man, you need to go get you a business degree. Don't
Yeah.
let him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar you and take your money. Go get you
Yeah, he can give himself a scholarship now.
All right. That's right.
Are you ready for the rest
All
of
right,
this
so
stuff?
we looked at your rig, we looked at the bars. Yeah, let's check out the bench because I know Stacia's got that special bench over there.
Yeah, this pink bad boy right here. Made by my boy Alex at Beast Metals, but they're not in business anymore. He had some family emergency. Kept his business down so he could take care of one of his family members. Awesome guy.
Okay. 100%.
Pink, the way this came about was we were up at a meet, and then we're talking to a sponsor, and they needed a bench to be at the LA Fit Expo. And then I organized it where my boy made the bench. They dropped it off at the expo, and the deal was the booth owner would ship us the bench, and that's how we got it here.
Now, does that extend all the way up to be? Is it a combo rack or just a bench?
Just a bench, the adjustable side spotters, and of course, adjustable. Let's turn into a squat.
It looks solid.
I'm not sold on combo racks too much for me. It's really expensive for a very common piece of equipment, I feel. I mean, if I want to spend big money, I want to spend big money on the Monolith for me. Because, like you're saying earlier, all these different types of athletes, and I train athletes in all kinds of different sports, so there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot going on with that. So, a combo rack doesn't work out for me. Monolith is safer. A lot of injuries come from walking out. So, yeah, no combos here. We use the uprights for a lot of our free squatting and whatnot. We just use the uprights and the J hooks. So we got our J hooks and all these bad boys in here. And you set up the various styles. Some more weights over here. Little homemade forearm machine I got going there. I don't know if you've seen that. All it is the self-spotter bar. That's bad noise, I know. And then just you rotate it over the pin. It's not quiet, but it's pretty effective.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's actually a rack-mounted wrist roller is the best way to go if you're going to use a wrist roller.
Yeah, I just wanted my kids to do it one day and just rig that thing up with some rope, and it's been working pretty good. I just got to modify it so it's...
You ever hook the sled to it?
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I didn't make that up. Adam Glass, he's a grip champion. Used to powerlift, but he's a grip world champion now. And he said, hook up a sled to it and drag it for distance as you rolling it. Now you don't have to count your reps. You just say, okay, it's gonna go 100 feet. At 100 feet, you're done. Yeah.
Nice little task in front of you and just get it done. That's the best. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Nice. You were telling me something about your bands, because again, it goes back to the moisture and keeping your bands from cracking and splitting. I think you said you got it from Donnie Thompson, but show me how you store your bands and stuff like that.
Bands, because they're usually latex or whatnot, we have them stored away in our storage room in buckets with lids hidden from the sunlight. And then, we put baby powder, little trick that we got from Donnie.
Okay.
Donnie Thompson. But the biggest trick is keeping your bands out of complete light whatsoever. So we use a bucket with a lid, and we store it in a room with a lot of shade. The more light your bands get, the more they break down quicker. It breaks down the material. Being in Hawaii, we get so much sun that bands really don't have a chance. But what we do is we use them. When they're done, they're back in the bucket. Don't let them sit. Don't let them.
Nice.
That's another thing. I never broke a band until I started training youth athletes. I think I went 3 years with one broken band. Not one band in 3 years. Now we can't keep them in the gym for a month.
Okay, so let's see. So we've seen the rig, we've seen the bench. Oh, we haven't seen the Monolith. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's take a trip to the Monolith, man.
Reverse hyper. Okay. Incline bench, my infamous tire sled.
Yeah.
I made that in 2007. That thing's still going. Never did modify. And here's the Monolith. So far, it's the only one outdoors that I know of. Elite FTS is a beast. It's a giant one, really heavy, powder coated clear. Was the previous owner's choice and lasted.
Those are spud straps.
What's that?
Are those the Spud safety straps?
Yep, Spud safety straps for spotters. Always.
Yeah.
Our chains up there. Some more weights and chains down here. Then you can see back there in the garage, we have specialty bars sitting around and some extra uprights. Some of the ones we changed out are mats, airdynes, rowers.
Is that a sandbag?
Down there, yep, that's a 150 pound med ball, soft med ball. And then I have this one's a Widowmaker here. It's a 140 pound sandbag, but this is the one that really gets people fits. Beat up, it's ugly, it's old, but it rock and rolls, man. Yep.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. We got some 45-degree back extension benches over there, our busted up glute ham developer.
Few boxes.
Chalk bucket.
How long do those boxes last? The wood boxes?
Those boxes have been with me for 9 years, 10 years.
Did you make them yourself?
Nah, my friend, well, I did the templates and my friend helped cut them up and put them together. And then our wall ball.
I was just I asked you that because I want to know if you use pressure treated wood.
If I use what? Pressure treated?
Yeah. For the boxes.
Yeah, we got to use termite treated wood here. Definitely.
Okay.
Otherwise, they just get eaten. If you use a non-treated wood, although the treated wood is expensive, if you use non-treated, it won't last long here. Termites and salt, we have a bunch of that in Hawaii.
Of course, yeah, of course. Okay. All right, yeah. I'm sorry. I
But
couldn't
yeah.
know if you were showing us the
No. No, it's all good. It's all good. Just that's pretty much the gym, and then the floor space all within here. 2 bars always stay out, my bar and Stacia's bar for demos and whatnot. And then this is where all the magic happens. The bars get pulled out. We do our conditioning, accessories. I mean, everything we have to do, we have to pull it out pretty much, except the rig. I mean, the Monolith lives there. Everything else is in and out when we need it.
Okay. All right, 2 things before I let you go, Jack. Number 1, you did not show me a very important piece of equipment that I use myself. And we're not getting paid to tell you this, but I've got a sand dune stepper, and I know you guys have sand dune steppers there. You got multiple sand dune steppers. I see them.
Yes.
The kids looking like a morning karate class on the dang sand dune steppers. So talk about that a little bit, and then
we got sand dune steppers there, and then we have a bunch more back there.
How many do you guys have?
I think we have 8 right now.
Okay.
You know, which really helped. Sand dune's been really, really good to me, really good to us. He really went above and beyond, out of his way, you know, to help me get the steppers here, because shipping wise, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I just couldn't do it. It was just too much. It was too crazy. And he helped me get them here. And man, this guy's so amazing. He helped sponsor our gym to help our kids out. He had somebody down here on a trip, and they flew with the sand dune steppers, and then they landed and then drove to my house and got sand dune steppers. Because, you know, with 1 or 2, you know, I got 20, 30, 40 kids in here. I got 1 or 2, that's rough. But if I got if I got 8 of those, I can do a couple rotations and I'm done with the whole gym. So yeah, the sand dune's pretty important for warm up. I like it because, you know, it's called the sand dune stepper, but there's another effect to it, a kinetic effect, because the sponge, the density, it pushes back against you. Whereas, you know, in sand, it takes your equal and opposite reaction and just deadens the force. So it's hard for you. Okay. Sand is a good variation, but it's hard to get strong in sand. With the sand dune stepper, I find that it rebounds in a way kinetically that actually the body reads really well. So yeah, we like those a lot. We like those a lot.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say, again, this is not commercial form, but it's like, I know a lot of people talk about, why should I buy this thing? It's just foam or whatever. Maybe I can just make it myself. That is one piece of equipment. I tell people, don't bother trying to DIY it. This guy has done the work, done the research. I use it for my knee, just quick. I mean, I couldn't do lunges. Now I can do lunges, you know? So yeah, I'm just telling you, it's 100%. I highly endorse it, and I don't have to be paid to say it.
Yeah, same. It just works. You know, I won't ever endorse anything that you know, somebody tries to pay me unless I actually use the equipment or actually believe in it. And it's great. You know, we train youth athletes to college athletes to pro athletes to my mom, who's 77 years old. You know, I keep it in her parlor. And then, you know, you can't afford a treadmill, sand dune stepper, dude. And anybody who questions a sand dune stepper, walk on it for 5 minutes. Walk on it for 5 minutes. Ruin your life in a good way. So that's what my mom.
You'll believe in it as soon as you get off.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, you know, don't try to do it yourself, DIY. Don't try to go figure out the sponges, the density, the firmness. It's all been calculated. Pay the man for his idea, because that's his and he deserves to get the credit and the payment for it. You can't just go to, you know, Ben Franklin or whatever your hobby store is in your local town and go.
I'm telling you, I'm not dissing anybody. You're not going to be able to figure this out. Well, we know how long it'll take to figure it out. It's the amount of time it took him to figure it out, which is why he charges what he charges for it. So, man, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. Jack runs seminars there. And there's a couple of things. Number one, how can people get in touch with you if they want to train with you? Because you can't just drop in at Jack's gym. That's still his house, okay? Don't just drop in, all right? Yeah. But if people want to train with you, or they want to ask you for training advice or whatever, how can they get in touch with you? And then how can they follow you guys' training? I know this is for YouTube, but you can give out your Instagram information and Facebook, whatever you want.
They can follow me on Instagram at 50 Barbell, all spelled out, FIFTYBARBELL. I Am Legend. You can find her account from my account. I'm not going to spell down right now and waste everybody's time. You can email me, CrossFit50, yahoo.com, or my phone number's on my blog. So if you look up CrossFit50.blogspot.com, my phone number's there and you can reach out to me. But honestly, the best way to get me is DM me on Instagram. And, you know, if you got questions about programming, questions about their personal things, I give a lot of information out for free just by people who message me who want help, you know, so those are the best ways. If you can't reach me there, then I don't want to be reached.